Could the Bitcoin price potentially be setting up for a minus 38% drop within 83 days' time? Let's dive in and analyze. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. Today we're going to discuss the Bitcoin price and the action inside the chart right now. Not only do we have to understand that the halving is coming up in roughly 1 week's time and that this could have a significant impact on the price, but there are some other things to take into consideration here, my friends. Bitcoin is at a very critical level. We can see that the general trend leading into the halving is very different than what we've seen historically. So we need to discuss that as well. And some new data, my friends, that is suggesting the potential possibility that Bitcoin could be due for a minus 38% plunge over the next 83 days. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell. And let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up, all right? So we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice. This is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. Now, clearly, my friends, structurally, the past two halvings have looked very different in terms of the price action leading up to the halving date. Clearly, on halving number 1 and halving number 2, we could see that the trend has been in a very solid uptrend, creating higher highs and higher lows, exemplified here by these two parallel channels that I have outlined. And leading into this halving right now, Bitcoin is doing quite the opposite. It is forming lower highs and lower lows, creating a downward sloping, descending parallel channel. So in the grand scheme of things, sure, this doesn't have to mean anything, and the halving could still be a very bullish event. But it's important to understand that this looks different than it has the past two times, okay? And only time will tell if this macro structure is going to lead to a different result in the short to medium term for the Bitcoin halving effect on the price. Let's get this crypto, okay? Now, another thing to take into consideration here is that Bitcoin is pushing up on a very critical level here of tentative resistance, okay? And for me, this goes all the way up to our two prior double tops here, where Bitcoin failed twice, my friends, after backtesting this old multi-month support, watching it flip from old support into new resistance for the first time. Then it failed, retested, and my friends, it turned into a resistance point for the second time, and then we ultimately plunged deep down into the crypto abyss. Bitcoin finds itself right back inside this region right now, my friends. Very, very critical zone. If we move over to this other chart where I have more things labeled here, we could see that Bitcoin did wind up breaking out of what actually wound up playing out as a bull flag to the upside. And right now we could be creating another bull flag here once again. My friends, just keep in mind that we are at the top of a potential resistance zone though, right? We have just entered the meat and potatoes of where we could begin to see some potential resistance. Just keep that on your radar as well. Very interesting circumstance here. If we pull up our Fibonacci as well, let's actually put this into perspective, okay? If we pull our Fibonacci retracement tool from the top there around 20,000 all the way to the bottom around 3,000, we could see that the 0.618 golden fib extension was where the last market cycle topped out at before getting rejected all the way back down to 3,800 for a complete market cycle bubble pop, right? So now if we use the same trajectory here, and we actually take our market cycle fib extension target from the top here at roughly 13,800 all the way down to our low at 3,800, we could see that our golden fib extension is right there around 10,000, right in the middle of all this confluence of which I just outlined. So keep it in mind, my friends, that this would be a normal spot for some rejection to potentially occur if it is going to respect the technicals. Now, lately, my friends, you've probably noticed I have not been uploading on a daily basis. This is purely just because right now I'm observing, I'm watching like a hawk with an eagle eye. There's a lot of euphoria in the space right now, my friends, and the Don doesn't really want to get caught up in it. Right now the market is extremely irrational with the halving coming up. There's a lot of emotion. There's just a lot of clickbait. There's a lot of irrational exuberance. And right now, I'm just choosing to take a step back. Maybe it's for this week. Maybe it's for next week. I don't want to lose focus on what's important here in terms of watching this chart from an unbiased perspective to the best of my ability, right? And I think that if I'm going to be doing analyses like this each and every day in an incredibly irrational environment, I don't know if it serves the best justice. So what I'm trying to do here is to look at this from a macro perspective, keep my emotions as low as possible, and then hopefully within a week or two, we're going to see the effects that the halving is going to have on the market in the immediate term, and then I will likely be back to daily videos after the emotions have calmed down. Either the Moon Boys are going to have their day in the sun here, that we will get above potentially 10,500 and we can start to begin looking at this as a potential new bull market, or we're going to see absolute devastation, the Moon Boys getting wrecked, and then we have to discuss, could this potentially retest the low here around 3,800? And are we going to continue this downward sloping trajectory? Let's get this crypto. So right now, I think I've outlined the potential bearish resistance zones for us pretty well, right? And obviously, if you didn't catch what I just said there, for me, with all of that potential bearish resistance there, especially with that Fibonacci potential market cycle top target there, right around 10,000, my friends, I need to see Bitcoin break out, get above 10,500, above this box here, and begin to consolidate and form multi-day to multi-week support above this region here before I can really consider that we're in a new bull market. Now, again, for many new traders or novices, beginners, whatever you'd like to say inside this market, they don't understand that that is awaiting for confirmation, right? And sure, your confirmation still could wind up turning sour, right? But this isn't like if it goes up here, right? And I'm not long on Bitcoin. You missed it, Kirby. You missed it. Get wrecked. I'm choosing to miss it. Do you not get it? The thing is that I don't have confirmation that a bull market could potentially be started until it gets above that region, closes daily and weekly candles above there, consolidates, before then I can see that this old resistance may have now potentially flipped into a new longer term support. And it gives me a higher probability that a bull market has started than what I'm currently seeing right now, giving me what I perceive to be the best edge I can have in this market, right? So right now, I just don't have any longer term bullish confirmations. In fact, everything right now is still pointing to the downside at this very specific moment in time, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. But now we have to discuss the minus 38% in roughly 83 days time. The topic that I've discussed in the introduction and the title of this video. Okay, so we're going to get into that right now. But my friends, if you are enjoying this content here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I really would appreciate it. It helps the algorithm so much. So please click that subscribe button. If you haven't already, my friends, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, and select all. That gives you my notifications when I upload these analyses here. Welcome to the channel. And my friends, let's get right into this right here, right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up this tweet here. Now, this person posted this data, okay, and it says Bitcoin has had 14 days where it's gained $1,000 USD or more in a single day. Here's what's happened in the days that followed, okay? 7 days later, on average, Bitcoin was down minus 5%. 30 days later, Bitcoin on average was down minus 21%. Then 90 days later, Bitcoin was down on average roughly 38% to the downside. So what I'm seeing here, my friends, is that let's go back now and look in here. We had this daily candle here that was an $1,000 move in 1 day's time, right? This candle right here, an absolutely Ripanachi Don Dot. Tell your wife, tell your fat. It was just an absolutely heinous rip. And now in the days that follow, it's been roughly about 7 days or so. So, instead of 90 days, as per his metric there, I've now chalked it up to roughly 83 days. And that would insinuate that there could be a potential drop on average of minus 38% from this point, from the rip up. Okay, so we're going to drop it down 38% from where that is roughly. Okay. And right there, my friends, is just about 5,600, 5,550, around that region. It's a very interesting region, to say the least, my friends, because if we do look at this here, it almost lines up completely perfectly with this level of confluence there, right? It was our old level of consolidation, which was a bull flag before a rip up. And then on the way down, you guys could see here, this is where we formed the majority of our confluence and support before this rip up after we crashed, right? We traded sideways in here. I'll actually zoom in a little further so we can see this better here. Bitcoin closed the majority of its candle bodies right inside this region before starting this real move to the upside. So if we were to test back down to what the average has been, right? Of course, it doesn't have to play out the same. Past performance does not indicate future results. But in all 14 circumstances that this has occurred, let me pull this tweet up again. We've seen on average, after an $1,000 day to the upside, the results in the short term, going out a total of 3 months, has not been very favorable. Okay, so I just want to keep it on your radar that we are coming up upon these critical areas of resistance in the chart here. We've seen an absolutely immaculate move to the upside here. We are still on the daily time frame right now in overbought conditions on the RSI. We are seeing a potential bearish divergence here as well on the MACD histogram, right? Higher highs in the price action followed by descending highs on the MACD histogram, all while being in overbought conditions on the RSI. Let's get this crypto coming up upon this old price action resistance range while also not yet fulfilling the potential, or rather coming up onto this 0.618 potential market cycle top zone. And beyond that, we are already past or trading right at the 0.5 fib, which we should all know. Between the 0.5 fib and the 0.618 fib is the honey hole of Don Carbonaccio. And that territory, my friends, is always, whether it be up here or not, that type of range there, in particular, this honey hole, is always where I could potentially expect the price to either reject at, or if it's a retracement, potentially reverse at, right? So for me, we are in some very uncertain times here, my friends. And it wouldn't be out of the realm of normalcy, in my opinion, to potentially see a drop there. And if that is in fact to occur, if we are to see that average price drop down, I think it would be normal again as well, my friends, right? Old support turning into support there, then potentially confirming that as a new bottoming zone right before we look to test up again. I don't think that would look abnormal, okay? And also keep it in mind, let's go back over here to the BLX now. The Bitcoin halving, although the narrative that you've probably been hearing or seeing across social media is that it always goes to the moon, Curry, right after the halving. It's just not true, my friend. Sure, back in the day when Bitcoin was minuscule, my friends, it was worth $12 in the first halving. The market cap was puny, okay? Moves like this could occur very, very easily with very small amounts of new capital being injected, sure, okay? So we did almost see a direct price increase there. But what we have to remember is here on the second halving, my friends, we saw an immaculate rise followed by an immaculate dump very shortly thereafter, okay? And this one actually led to a minus, wow, really, the run up to the run down was about 38%. Wow, look at that. I can't believe that that's the number. That's incredibly ironic, being that the title of the video was a minus 38% drop to the downside. Is that possible? Well, my friends, you see it on the last halving there. After the initial run up before the halving occurred, Bitcoin dumped about 38% to the downside before finding its legs again and running up. So, of course, medium term, this did still keep its upward sloping trajectory intact, right? After a heinous sell-off. But there was a heinous sell-off. So what I'm trying to tell you is, hey, it's possible that Bitcoin just negates this whole structure now and breaks out, right? You would hope that it does, and we consolidate up here and continue to start a real bull market. But it wouldn't be abnormal by any means for Bitcoin to potentially get rejected at this very specific region, anywhere from here at 9,000 all the way up to 10,000, okay? Get rejected, potentially plunge, look to find some support, and then break out, somewhere down the line. Let's get this crypto. I hope that that's realistic enough that you guys understand. I'm just not looking at this from a perspective that this thing has to go to the moon right away. I don't appreciate lottery ticket degenerate mentalities, my friend. I just don't. And like I stated earlier in the video, I mean, that's kind of why I've just been taking a back seat here, not really, putting out content each and every day. I just don't really enjoy these times where the market becomes so overly exuberant on some fundamental, fundamental things. For me, it just gets too unrealistic. And when it gets too unrealistic, sometimes I need to take a step back, and prepare for when the realistic market environment comes back into play, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, that sums it up for me here. Let me know what you think about that, the metric that I showed you guys here. I'll pull it up one more time, okay? Let me know what you think about that there. Let me know your thoughts moving forward, what you think. Leave a comment down below. I would appreciate that. And of course, my friends, if you haven't already, don't forget to leave that thumbs up. It really helps the channel, so I would appreciate a thumbs up. Leave a comment. It could be anything, my friends. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, get wrecked Kirby, the moon Kirby, whatever you'd like. Leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. Leave a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. And my friends, I already said it earlier, but if you aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, and select all. This channel provides some of the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis you're ever going to find. So welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, select all, and let's get this crypto. My friends, we'll see what happens here. I am looking for more trading opportunity right now inside this market. Any trades that I've been taking here, my friends, have been very, very small in terms of position size. I have been looking for some shorts here. It's a choppy range, my friend. I've been in and out of some short positions here. Right now, keeping my position sizes small, as I do believe this current environment is very risky. But we'll have to wait and see. So I will see you all in VIP after this video as well. If you're not already in my VIP, I will see you in VIP right now. That's where you can see all of my real-time entries, exits, targets, trade setup ideas, etc. So if you're not already in my VIP, today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. And my friends, until next time, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.